Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the King Leo Show. I'm your host, King Leo. How's everyone doing tonight? Hope everyone's doing well. We have an interesting show here tonight, but there are some developments happening literally right now. So we might go to AI Telly, which has not done an update. But apparently, Israel has attacked Hezbollah installations in the south of Lebanon, and we have significant movements of American planes. You know, we're doing plane movements to Iran. It really does seem that something is going to pop off, but we're just gonna wait and see. I would love to tell you more about it, but I don't really have much of the news, unfortunately. We really don't have much news. How you doing, Eves? How you doing, man? I need to get in the Discord. I've been so busy lately. I'm so busy. All right, let me check. I'm sure the audio's fine. How you doing, Eves? Hope everything's well. Check here the audio as well. See, I would love to tell. Perfect. All right. Yes, everyone. So, yeah, I just feel it's important to mention that Israel is bombing Lebanon at the moment, and that Iran seems to be on the cutting board, which we already knew here at this show. But it's always interesting to see our predictions come to be real. My producer does not think that they're going to attack Iran this weekend, but probably within the next month. Because there's a key piece missing of the carrier strike group that's off the coast that we saw AI Telly break down for us. So we'll see how it goes. It's going to be an interesting time to be in the Middle East, man. It seems like the Arabs are cool with this too. So it's going to be very, very interesting to watch. No problem, Eves. We'll talk about it once everything is actually when we have more information. All right, so is it 10 o'clock? It's 10 o'clock. Welcome to the King Leo Show, everyone. I'm your host, King Leo. Tonight we have a great show. We have to talk about Zohran Mamdani, which is a story we wanted to talk about yesterday, but I didn't have the time for it. We have to talk about James Fishback, running for governor of my home state, who is recently re-collaborated with Sneeko. He re-collaborated with a couple of different people in Miami, as well as he's going to collaborate with Gary's the Numbers. It's really an odd thing to watch him really ingratiate himself with the streamer culture, which is an interesting view because it could mean that either he's actually running and doing something intelligent, or he's running for the the governor of Twitter, and we'll see how that goes. So, all right. Let's get into it. First, we have to do the Black Person of the Day. Let's play us in.
You have to think, young brother, about your future.
Take it from me, someday we'll all be free.
We're gonna play the video later, man. But Trump today said that it's Black History, the Black History Century. All right, so for today's person, it's something more ethereal, something more abstract. It's not going to be a real person. It's going to be actually the best movie subscription service that exists at the moment, which has really given a lot of opportunities to Black Americans, mostly that I've seen, but I'm sure Africans as well, because it is probably the best. Listen, man, you're on Netflix, you're on HBO Max. I'm telling you, you got to get on this one. And it's owned by Rupert Murdoch, and you're going to recognize the jingle most likely, because you've probably seen a movie on it. This is owned by Rupert Murdoch. And what I love about this streaming service, man, is I feel like Black people in America are the last people who are still trying to make movies, which is odd to say, but it's true because Hollywood is so stagnant and shitty these days. But if you go on Tubi, you will find some great movies. And they're B movies. It's like the last bit of a B movie that exists now, and they're imperfect, and they have this charm as well as some interesting writing. Of course, they suffer in visual effects and all this, but for example, I wanted to show, this is a great one. It's called You Toxic AF, which is directed by Camille Hassan, who I've looked him up before, man. And this is a guy who's a director out of Atlanta or Detroit, I don't remember. And all of his movies are they're kind of like telenovelas, but they're not. At least they're different.
Send me some more things, though. Good, baby. I'll see you soon, though, for sure.
Really? For real? What? You in here on the phone with him while me and your daughter in the other. No, I'm talking to my mother. Party? No, you got me running around this doing all
It's really, I know it doesn't really come across here. You just have to watch it, man. The lighting's not great. The editing it's funny because sometimes you'll get Da Vinci error codes in the editing. The lighting is not great. The acting is not the best, but it really reminds you of like Italian neorealism or Italian realism, like a Bicycle Thieves type thing. And at least you're getting a different perspective. You're getting a different view, a different real diversity. We're getting a real point of view, a real difference. And I don't know why it is that Black American seems to be the people who have seized mostly on the opportunity Tubi has provided, because Amazon used to do this, but it never attained this like cult-like following that Tubi has in the African American community. I love it, dude. You find there's some real stinkers, but there's some real gems. Like you watch these and you're like, damn, I can see the passion. If he had $10 million, this movie would have been like 10 out of 10. But you don't, so it's always difficult, with a limited budget. But you can see the passion. It bleeds through. So for that reason, and I gotta say, Rupert Murdoch may have his issues, but the fact that he gave the world this opportunity, and so far only blacks have seized on it, I think we should have great cinema from everyone on here. But seems like the only artist left on in the cinematic side on the actual attempt to make full movies, because there are plenty of artists of all races on YouTube and all that. But to make movies, it really is like a black thing. Everyone else has kind of given up on movies, and you go here and you're like, damn, like these Black Americans are still trying to make movies. That's pretty cool. So it's really fascinating to see. I wouldn't try to make a movie personally. I think that Hollywood should be wiped from the earth. It's a terrible place. Movies were out of it, But these are endearing, they're worth watching. I mean, what are you going to watch? The Avengers or something? Instead, Tubi is the black person of the day. And I know it's owned by Rupert Murdoch, but go on there, dude. It is one of the best. The best experiences is finding a good black movie on Tubi. You're going to love it. And I guess I'll just highlight Camille Hassan. This is a guy who I've seen most of his movies on Tubi. He's I wouldn't even call him an amateur director. I'm not going to call him that. He's a director, okay? And his shit is pretty good. His third acts tend to suffer a little bit, but he does a good job. It's a good movie. You see, I watched this one, The Dirt AD. That one's pretty good. Black Men Don't Cheat. I think I started that. White Lies I watched. That was pretty good. So, this is Camille Hassan. It's an odd name, but he's a good director, man. It's a good. What else are you gonna watch? You're gonna go watch. I went to watch Wuthering Heights, which was fine. It was whatever, but I walk around the movie theaters now, and I'm a geriatric old man. I don't recognize any of the movies. I don't recognize the technology. When I was a kid, we used to have movie posters. They were made of paper. They were on the walls, and now they're all digital. And I'm walking around like, damn, I'm an old man now. I'm old. I am old. I don't recognize the movie theater. I don't recognize it anymore. So yeah, it's crazy. What are you gonna watch? I'd rather go on Tubi than go to the movie theater and watch Avatar 3. I've only seen one Avatar in 2010. What are we gonna watch? Why are we whatever. That's great. How you doing, Mystery Lou? To be or not to be. That's Eve says there is a place for the 10 million budget film. I agree. There is, Eves, but no one's gonna fund it, unfortunately, because these guys are working with probably $100,000 budgets. So what they get is really impressive for what it is. But I don't think anyone really wants to fund the $10 million budget in the United States anymore. It's unfortunate, but I just don't think it'll happen. There's some people that Ben Affleck says that it could happen, but given my experience in Hollywood, it's gonna be very difficult for any. All right, we lost connection there for a second. Yeah, we're gonna have unaging police pretty soon. We're gonna have robots. All right, let's get to our plugs, and then we'll get into the show. Here's our first plug. As usual, these links are in the description. We have the Discord, which is free, and there's the paid tier. And I have to get in here. I'm sorry that I haven't been in here. I've been leaving people hanging. We have the Patreon, which is $5 or $20 a month. Gets you access to the King Leo Movie Club. And I'm going to add other stuff. I'm not sure what it is yet, but we'll add more stuff. And we have the What Would a Postmodernist Do or What Would a Piers Morgan Do parody bracelet available at the coffee link in description. All right. Let's get to it. Let's get to the show. We have great stuff today, man. I'm very excited to talk about that. Tomorrow we're going to do like full Piers watch, dude, because Clavicular went on Piers Morgan. And this is the best bread and circus. So we're going to watch a little bit of him doing it live. So it's great stuff. How you doing, Dane? Appreciate you. All right, let's get into Schizo Watch and see how we are all going nuts, dude. This first one, you're going to love this. Okay, so as we all know, the United States and Europe have been having an icy relationship lately. We're not having a great time together. We are not best friends anymore. By the way, I'm a Spanish citizen now, by the way. I did that. I got the news today. I did it. I did it. We need like an applause one or something. I don't have an applause one. So I'm feeling pretty happy. I got my Spanish citizenship. It's in the mail. It's guaranteed now. It's guaranteed, but still, just in case, I got it. Free healthcare. Someone ring up Bernie Sanders because I got the free healthcare now. Thank you. Thank you very much. Very happy. I'm a colonizer now. Absolutely. Anyway. All right. I don't know why this is disconnecting. Anyway, now that I'm a citizen of Europe, I'll have the official documentation in a few months, probably 2 months. I have to say that the United States and Europe, my country, my home, we do not align on our views on free speech. Okay, we do not align on them. All right. These Americans, these vulgar Americans, they like to just say anything they want. But I, the refined European, prefers to ban hate speech because we live in a society that must get along. The U.S. State Department is launching an online portal that will enable people in Europe and elsewhere to access content banned by their governments, including, quote, hate speech and terrorist propaganda, end quote. The site will be hosted at freedom.gov. You will not escape the insanity of America, man. You will not. You can put up all the great firewalls you want, but the government, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Let's go on the website. Look at this. I really can't believe this. I'm not signing up for this, dude. I'm not signing up for this. Fly Eagle, Fly, sign in with Google. I'm just wondering, I don't have, whatever. Look, I just think it's funny that, in 1945, whenever D-Day was, when was that? 44? America landed with Jeeps. They brought Jeeps and blue jeans to Europe. And now we're bringing Holocaust denial and other illegal things in Europe to them. I mean, look, I'm all for this. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm being a petty nationalist, but we're going to make the Europeans crazy. We're going to make them crazy. They're trying to put up a buffer to be like, we don't want to be made crazy like the Americans. We're going to make you crazy. You're going to enjoy it, actually. It's going to be great. So we're going to bring over there everything illegal in Europe. All the hate speech, everything. We are going to bring ethnic slurs, racial slurs, hate speech, ISIS propaganda, everything to Europe. Yeah. It's really like we are inverse China. We're setting up 4chan for the world, Very funny. I gotta say, it's a smart strategy on the part of the United States. This is real soft power, managed decline, influence peddling that Spengler would rejoice at. Kissinger would see it as very interesting. So it's good to know that these Europeans will not escape our hell. They will be in hell with us.
We live in hell. We live in the gutter.
So it's going to be an interesting time, man. It's going to be interesting. Look at this website. Cloudflare. I am not signing up for this. I can't. But maybe when I'm a Spanish citizen living in Spain, I will sign in here. Let's see. All right, let's continue. I wanted to show you this. Of course, we're celebrating Black History Month. And I felt like I was the only person celebrating it. I'm out here having a good time. I'm showing people the beauty of Black American culture. I'm celebrating it. And no one else cares. No one else cares. People are dropping N-words during Black History Month. They're being disrespectful. Myron Gaines is saying he wants to enslave Black people again. And then today I saw Donald Trump. And Donald Trump seems to actually be celebrating Black History Month. But he went even further than I did. Let's see what he had to say about Black History Month today.
Happy Black History Month, happy Black History Year, and happy Black History Century. Thank you all. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody.
Happy Black History Century. Happy Black History Century. I would have never thought of that. I would have never thought of it. I can't do more than a month. We need to rotate them. We're not going to rotate by the century. We live too short for that. It's good to see the president. This was at an African-American event he was hosting at the White House. It was very endearing to watch. I would have never thought of this. I would have never thought of Black History Century. Black History Year. That's really something, it's very kind of him to say, but I'm getting mixed signals, no DEI, but now it's Black History Century, the Black History 1,000-year, right? Right? I mean, there's some mixed signals here. What? I'm happy to see. I think it's funny. Hashtag ally, says Buddy Delina. How you doing? Yes, he's an ally of Black people. Donald Trump is clearly, I don't mean to sound like a boomer con or something, but he's clearly never had a real problem with Black people. Like, he defended Mike Tyson and all that. I never saw him that way. But this is really something else. This is Baudrillardian sorcery magic to pretend harder than anyone else. You want Black History Month? You're mad that I'm moving DEI? Well, we're celebrating Black History Century. How about that? Great stuff. Great stuff. Mr. Ela says he's a New York gorilla, bro. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I've never seen the racist thing. I haven't seen it myself, man. I really haven't seen him say anything that would indicate to me that maybe the policies, but as far as the person, I'm sure this is a very kind man. My buddy took a picture of him. Said he was nice to him. Eve says he knows his presidential history legacy. Absolutely. If he declares official Trump-sponsored Black History Century, it would be part of the legacy. All right. Let's continue here. I want to show you here Glenn Beck, who we have shown throughout the... This guy is going to make me run in front of a train. He's going to make me throw myself in front of the bright line. He's going to make me consume something that will make me disappear. This guy, dude, is insufferable. Who is worse, Glenn Beck or Dennis Prager? I really can't stand it. The AI George Washington and all this. And I really don't get what the end game is here. Let's watch what was recently released here. He went from AI George Washington. AI George Washington was all for Black rights, it seems. Let's watch here Glenn Beck talk about his purpose with PragerU.
I at times have felt impressions from God, and about 4 or 5 weeks ago, it was overwhelming. I know why I was born. This is why you are here. This is why you were born. And it is to stand at these times and to stand for the truth and to stand, not to sound grandiose, but to stand as other people in history have stood, especially for the Jewish people. And it is humbling, a little bit terrifying, but a relief to finally know
Bibi, Benjamin Netanyahu, if you can hear me, Benjamin Netanyahu. Yeah. Glenn Beck says that God personally spoke to him recently and told him that his purpose was to stand up, especially for the Jewish people. Now, I have nothing against the Jewish people. But what is this? What is this? First of all, the talking to God thing, it's Ash Wednesday. I'll admit, I'm a bit cranky. I'm a postmodern Catholic, which means that I do the fasting bullshit, and I'm not having a good time today, okay? But anyway, I've never spoken to God personally. Maybe it's just a Protestant thing that I don't get. Maybe that's what it is. I don't think God is telling you you have to stand up for especially the Jewish people. Dude, this is read the room. And I'm not telling you not to stand up. If you want to defend the Jewish people, that's perfectly clear. I would defend the Jewish people. The Jewish people are cool. You know, I like bagels and movies and shit. You know, I like them. Okay, they're cool. You can't say Woody Allen anymore, right? But I like the Jewish stuff. God has never dude. Glenn Beck went from talking to AI George Washington to literally talking to God and being scared because God told him to protect the Jewish people. Bibi Netanyahu, you need to come over here and tell him to stop. Bibi, please. My country can't take it anymore, Bibi. My country can't take this. They have lost their minds. I don't even know why they're saying this anymore. It seems like they're only trying to make the country crazier. Now, people think that one of the more popular radio hosts in America is literally speaking to God. And he's telling him to stand up for the Jewish people. Is he telling you to change your carburetor too? What is this? What is, when we start speaking to, we used to lock people up for this, right? Like in asylums for this. When you say, if I ever come out here and I tell you that earnestly, God told me to do something, you should doubt me. You should go, this guy's having a Rudyard Lynch episode. He's done too much acid or he's done ayahuasca or something. This is unhealthy. But Glenn Beck, a 60-year-old man, can say that God just at the ripe young age of 60 is giving him his purpose. America is an insane asylum. It's an insane asylum. An insane asylum. Let me close this shit. Sorry. Insane asylum. How you doing, Fast Girl? I haven't seen you here before. If you're new here, smash the like button, as Fast Girl says. Also like and subscribe and join the channel or whatever. But subscribing is the best. It's easier. It's good to subscribe right now, dude. We're at the white supremacy number, so. All right. We have to continue here. We have a problem here, man. We have a problem where Dan Bongino, as everyone saw, I didn't cover it on the show, but we all saw it. He retired from the FBI and went back to podcasting.
We live in hell. We live in the gutter.
This is what's going on. This is what's going on. I'm sorry, not the FBI. What was his bullshit title? That was Cash. What was Dan Bongino's title? Dan Bongino from Fox News. Yeah, co-deputy director of the FBI. And now he's going back to podcasting. But not only that, which was already absurd enough, he's interviewing the current head of the FBI, who has botched every single investigation he's done right now. And they're gloating about how good of a job they're doing. Even though, may I remind you, one of their friends was murdered, assassinated on camera in front of his children while he was deputy director. This is really, we're at a shameless point in history. Let's watch here, these two buckaroos here.
Did a pretty good job. But, it really isn't hard when you focus them on the bad guys.
Well, it's not hard, Dan, as you know, as an 1811 and a former police officer. It's not hard to do the job you signed up for if you're loud to do the job you signed up for. And President Trump and this administration backs law enforcement and gave us the resources at this FBI and gave us the autonomy in you and I in running this building to remove the red tape, to remove the unnecessary approvals, and to get 1,000 extra agents. That's what we did, Dan. We put 1,000 agents into the field from Washington, D.C. We permanently removed them from the national capital region and sent them across to
Brother, don't we have a literal high-profile ransom kidnapping going on right now? Isn't that literally happening right now? Something we haven't seen since before the FBI started, like some Charles Lindbergh shit. And we're talking about the great job we're doing?
every single field office. And what did that do? It allowed people to hit the streets and investigate crimes, and it led to this. And I know you've seen this, but this is 1 year in the making of true historic reductions in crime. And you're talking about a 20% reduction in murder rate. You're talking about a 32% increase in fentanyl seizures, enough to kill 150 million Americans. Dan, you're talking about 4 top 10 arrests in 1 year, but as soon as you left, I had to add 2 more. So now we're up to 6. You know, I couldn't let it stand at 4. So in 1 calendar year, we arrested 6 of the FBI's
I wanted
most
that
wanted
one
fugitives
bad.
in the world.
You know what I'm talking about. I was busting my ass on that one, but you know, I was like, you know. So, but hey, good job. Once I saw it on the news, I was proud of you and the guys.
No, you laid it, and you gotta let it know those 6 go to you. You laid the.
This is crazy, man. Poor Charlie Kirk, man. Let's lay one out for Charlie Kirk. One for Charlie. One for Charlie. Charlie, your buddies did not stop you from getting killed. They bungled the investigation, and they're bragging about how good of a job they're doing. Dude, what? Try this in the private sector. This is great stuff, man. This is literally crazy. This is crazy, man. Like, imagine. Imagine. You're working at a security company, and the guy who hired you is shot in the neck and bleeds out in front of the whole internet. And then you do an interview a few months later with your coworker, and you're like, dude, we did a great job. We're like the best ever. We are like the greatest law enforcement people in the world. Are you kidding me? We're so good. And don't tell me that this isn't relevant. It's the FBI. They have counterintelligence. They're the ones who put you on the list for domestic stuff. They could have saved Charlie. Crazy stuff, man. This is crazy stuff. All right, let's move on here to Marie Glusenkamp Perez, who we saw last time, this slob we have here. Let's watch her latest message, which is just designed. I want you to picture Marie Antoinette if she had Twitter. Like Marie Antoinette putting out tweets, putting out TikToks to the peasants, to the proletariat of France. Let's see here what she posted about TSA.
You guys, TSA is not paid during a shutdown, and it sucks, and it's not fair. And to my friends at TSA, I'm sorry. I cannot imagine doing this again. And just wanted to let you know people are really grateful for you, and we can't imagine, but we're working hard to restore funding and to hang tough. You guys.
This is Let Them Eat Cake. Everyone is doing Let Them Eat Cake. My favorite Let Them Eat Cake is still Melania's I Really Don't Care, Do You? Because at least that one gave you some mental relief. It was like, oh, then why should I care? Then why should I care? If she doesn't care, then why should I? Now they're just doing Marie Antoinette, TSA. This is crazy. This is crazy. Is the TSA agent watching this? You know, like an overweight 45-year-old man. He's what? God damn. Thank you, Marie. You're right. I'm working for no pay. I have credit card debt now but Thank you, Marie Glusenkamp. I will hold on. Dude, this lady is like, I can't tell if it's earnest. I can't tell if it's fake, but who's telling her to post it? Like, who's telling her that this is a good idea to post? I don't think this makes things better. This is Marie Antoinette. Look, people down here, I hadn't even seen this. Lord Farquaad memeing. Everyone says this is clearly ridiculous. Marie. What? Marie! Like Breaking Bad. What are you doing? What are you doing? Jennifer says, do you think it's possible to build the most efficient surveillance system? Think Palantir. But we're going to get into Palantir tonight. But at the same time, degrade the supportive system in order to law enforcement to work properly. But at the same time, degrade it. Well, I think that's definitely possible, Ephraim. But the thing is, you're talking about on the ground, right? At the end of the day, it's all about your bank account these days, right? So if you have Palantir and they can shut down your bank account, it's pretty much over for you. You know, if you have low social credit and you can't really get even into the bank because of your social credit, you can't rob the bank. And I do think they're making these. I know it's sci-fi bullshit. I know you're not going to agree with it, right? But I think at some point they're going to replace cops and they're going to use mental deterrence. And I gotta say, Ephraim, I don't have any faith in the people. I learned this during COVID, but I really don't, in the sense of, you know, those signs they use that say speed limit and they flash your speed. You know, those work like to deter speeding. For some reason, they've never deterred me. Scratch that. Allegedly, people slow down without the presence of a cop. So people have these prisons in their mind, and when it comes to law enforcement and authority, which is like the Milgram experiment or whatever, but you see it every day. So I really think that it's really a psychological war, and they're gonna win it every single time. But I think that is possible, Efra. I do agree that it's possible. Let's watch here. Andrew Schultz, again, one of our geniuses, the Thucydides of our time, the Schopenhauer of our time. Again, a man who got Donald Trump elected and regrets it, but will not shut up. He will not just be quiet, just leave us alone, because he still has to give his takes, because even though he was so catastrophically wrong in his mind, that doesn't prevent him from commenting. And this literally sounds like, I don't know who's listening to this guy, dude. I really don't understand who's left that's interested listening to this. I really don't. Let's watch him here. This is going to sound exactly like a clip we heard of him recently, because it's the same spiel over and over.
But I will say that this was a breaking point for me and the way that the administration responded to it. Like, I didn't think what's happening right now with ICE could happen in America. I genuinely did not think that was possible. I thought our institution, I thought the Constitution would hold up. When I see it and then immediately defend it, I start to go, we gotta be very loud about this. Like, it all of a sudden becomes not like liberal catastrophic thinking. It starts to become very reasonable, nuanced criticism of the administration. They have just made the most far left critiques of the Trump administration. Their reaction to this has just justified all of them. In one moment, all of their responses, from Trump to Kash Patel, they have justified every single and I know people will probably look at this and be like, they've done a million other things to justify them. Sure, and that's fair. But this specific situation, I think, is a breaking point, and it has justified all those criticism. I think people's antennas are way up, and people's antennas up that were not up initially.
This is like seeing the Epstein files. Because it's like,
wouldn't it be nice if we got those?
It's like, damn, y'all really.
So firstly, I want to point out, it sounds exactly like what we saw him say last time, all right? But I'm going to give you, maybe this is a little racist, but I have to say it anyway. And I mean towards white people, so I'm not trying to be mean. White people love to wear this overcoat thing. It's not a safari jacket, it's an overcoat. I have never met someone who has worn an overcoat that said anything interesting. A blazer, yes. A sweater. This overcoat slob nonsense. I don't know what has happened here. Because the safari jacket was at least cool looking. Everyone is wearing Hollister 2016 flannels updated for 2026 now. And it looks like crap. In addition to that, I'm not taking advice. And you shouldn't either. I don't know what shoe this is. How old is this guy, dude? Like late 30s? Grow up. Same with Charlemagne over here, who I've never liked. You're almost 50, I assume. What is this outfit? I hate everything. It's not here. I don't think yet. What is this New York thing, man? You don't work at a construction site. The only guys who should be dressed like this, who I listen to, are largely Central American construction workers that actually are wearing this because they need it for the field. That's who I see wearing this. These are two clowns wearing clown costumes. Now, let's get back to the actual message because I have to show you the subtle shift. Not only is Andrew Tate being a crybaby, Andrew Schultz. Andrew Tate's a crybaby too. Being a total crybaby, I voted for Trump, Now, and the reason it's important to show it is that he is inducing other people with his schizophrenia. Because he's telling you, we have to fight back. What does that mean, Andrew Schultz? We have to fight back. When he uses the word we, he's trying to include anyone and everyone that identifies with him here. This is a powerful trick of sorcery. It's also a powerful trick in the diffusion of responsibility. When you say we instead of I, it means that you don't want to accept responsibility. It means that you want to... This is a tip for life. If anyone is ever using the word we, saying, yeah, dude, we got to lose weight, we got to get on a diet, you tell them you need to say I, because otherwise you're not going to do anything about it. That's a hypnosis trick. That costs you some money, all right? That is not free. I learned that at the Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy, not a sponsor. I don't have to fight back anything, Andrew Schultz. You're the one who did propaganda for Trump during the campaign. You did it. It wasn't me. I didn't do anything like that. I did nothing like that. Maybe you want to fight back, but you're going to make everyone crazy and tell them to fight back. Listen, man, the resistance liberals are already bad enough, but the Andrew Schultz podcast bro protest, the Andrew Schultz No Kings protest is going to be full on retarded. Who listens to this? I don't know, but this is not healthy for our society, for our podcasters to be telling people what to do. What to do. You should do something if you want to. And I don't think he should. I think he should shut the fuck up. But if he wants to, he should do something. I will never tell you guys we should do this, we should do that to avoid responsibility. If you feel guilty, go to confession. Do something. But this pathetic, we need to fight back. What are you, dude? What century do you think we're in? Let's continue. It's just insanity, man. I think we're going to have to move on after this one. Let's watch here what Secretary Kennedy released. This is really something, dude. This is some Adult Swim 3 a.m. shit. Let's watch our greatest Secretary Kennedy releasing a new ad where he tells us to get fit and drink whole milk. Let's watch with Kid Rock, of course.
are you scared?
All the crackheads, the critics, the cynics, and all my heroes at the methadone clinics. All you bastards at the IRS, for the crooked cops and the cluttered desks, for the shots of Jack in the caps of meth, half pints of love and the fists of stress, for the hookers all tricking out in Hollywood, and for my hoods of the world misunderstood. I said it's all good and it's all in fun. Then get in the pit and try to love someone.
Listen, I give him a lot of slack because at least he's telling people to go work out or whatever, right? But I have to say, I never thought in my life, especially someone who was marked by the Obama administration in adolescence, that Americans were going to get to Arab or Latino tier fawning. This is something that Saddam Hussein would do. This is something that Fidel Castro would do. Oh, the great leader! Look at him! He has abs and a big muscle. Oh, I need to be like him. This is something you hear in a village in Cuba in 1970 or something. Like this is a Saddam fan, number one Saddam fan going, oh, Saddam, he has a great big muscle. I need big muscle. Brother. Look, it's good to tell people to get active and everything, but this is literally like third world country. See, Mr. Who says Mussolini. Yeah, it's like, it's very Latin, it's very Arab, it's very African, it's very Persian. This idea of like the strong leader, this is very, very Mussolini. Very Mussolini. I can't say, at least he's telling people to get fit, you know. At least it's being used for that. But I never thought Americans had this in them. I never thought they would ever be a people. Because when Obama was president, he was a fucking nerd, right? You were like, yeah, Obama, he's smart or whatever. Obama wasn't out there on trend, you know, getting jacked, being like the jacked president. And now we have this, you know, so. And this gets people in shape. I'm sure this is more effective than Michelle Obama's program. I mean, it's not that bad, right? But it is definitely insane. It is definitely insane. I never thought we would see this in our lives. I really never thought we would go back to, or go towards to the workout video with the great white shark in the intro. This is something a Venezuelan in the poorest neighborhood would watch of Hugo Chavez and the defense minister and get inspired. This is all right. Let's move on. We have to watch this before we go to the Goyim Have Gone Mad. Okay. I hate Scott Galloway. I made this clear repeatedly. Okay. I have made this incredibly clear. Scott Galloway is a scammer, liar, grifter, idiot. Scott Galloway does not care about you. He does not care about boys. He does not care about girls. He does not care about text. Scott Galloway is clearly just a grifter. Okay? I don't like him. I think he's stupid. I don't think he brings anything of value to the table. And I want to show you something here because I'm a good country boy. Okay? I don't mind when chickens come home to roost. He has a podcast with Kara Swisher, who, if you're not familiar, is this annoying woman who attacks Silicon Valley. And I'm not saying I'm a fan of Silicon Valley. I'm saying she's an annoying woman and her job is attacking Silicon Valley. It's incredibly annoying to watch. Scott Galloway is in that same camp. And I want to show you this because Scott Galloway is really bottom of the barrel, low tier guy who's trying to act macho. And I want to show you what kind of friends you bring in when you're in this field, when you're in the elite liberal commentariat. I want to show you something here because I really have no respect for these people. And I'm talking about people like Ezra Klein, Scott Galloway, that archetype. I'm not talking about like Cenk Uygur or whatever. That's not really liberal. I'm talking about liberals here. Let's watch what happened here because this is the most crazy thing I've seen. All right. Ephra says, this give you Putin writing a bear shirtless? Absolutely, Ephra. That is our RFK. He's filling that role. Let's watch here Scott Galloway with his friend of many years, Kara Swisher.
I have friends who are fairly famous actors, and if they walk into a scenario with a lot of women or a party scene, they're like, I can't be here. I can't be here. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not even going to flirt with anybody, but I can't be here because if it hits the press, it'll upset my wife. It will create talking points that aren't good. They will insinuate. I mean, I know people who are so careful.
Before we even do this, I just want to show you something. These people are ugly. I want to get that clear to begin with, and I'm not trying to be, edgy or something. These people are ugly. Kara Swisher is ugly, and Scott Galloway is ugly. And they have only failed upward in spite of or because of their ugliness. These are ugly people with bad fashion sense. I don't know why you would listen to them. Those glasses look terrible, Scott Galloway. Why is your collar broken? Kara Swisher, you're a journalist, and we can see your undershirt. This is really, do not listen to people that look like this. There are good, ugly people, but an ugly liberal, they just, you see it on them and you're like, you're ugly, get away from me. All right. And I shit on conservatives. So let's not, I hate when people try to both sides me. Oh, both. Yes, I know this is an analysis channel. I'm talking about liberals right now. Look at how ugly they are. Why would you believe anything these ugly people have to say? They are ugly.
And shape their lives realizing that unfair or not.
Picture, a photo of you with
and then these
the future
guys,
Jeffrey Epstein.
These guys go to an island and start having sex with underage women and aren't worried, believe that this isn't going to come back to haunt them.
There's also a lot of people that enable them. And one person that, by the way, I searched you immediately.
In what? In the Epstein files?
Yes, of course.
That's one party I wasn't invited to.
Yeah, you weren't. But
did you really search for me?
I searched everybody.
Did you really search for me?
I did. I had to. I work with you. I have to make certain.
Okay. All right.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Come on. I searched like 20 names of people I know.
Season 2, gay hockey with the dog. Proxy. That's what you got to worry about. I'm going to be an extra. My next career, fluffer for gay badminton, the new original series on HBO.
I welcome any joyful, consensual sexual expression you want to have, Scott Galloway. As long as
God, at this point, when I orgasm, it's just mist coming out.
Can you imagine being friends with someone for years? 4 years. Years. And as soon as there's a file dump accusing people of abusing children, their first instinct is to search your name. And not only do they do it, they tell you. And not only do they tell you publicly on the show you do together. This ugly freak is the worst judge of character that has ever existed. Imagine how pathetic and empty your life must be to not immediately quit this podcast. Your best friend, maybe not best friend, one of your closest friends and coworkers, imagine that, dude. Imagine if your coworker, there was a file release of people that were abusing children and their first instinct was, I need to check if this person is in there. You are a bad judge of character, Scott Galloway, perhaps the worst. You are a bad gambler. You bet on Kamala Harris winning. What was it? $500,000, $750,000, and lost that money. You are an ugly freak, and you need to be completely ignored. If I ever revealed I had a friend who looked at me with suspicion, who looked at me and said, you could be a PDF file. You could, if you allow anyone in your circle like that, whether it be for money or clout, these people would sell their mother for a loaf of bread. These people are sick. Imagine that, dude. Imagine that instinct. He didn't cut her off. He immediately went to self-deprecating sexual humor. You are a retarded liberal, and there are retarded conservatives, but you are a retarded liberal, Mr. Galloway, who has had you lose money. You are accused. Your friends think that you could be a PDF file. I can't listen to you anymore. Your friends don't trust you enough that they have to actually search your name in the files to make sure you're not. This was really something to watch for me, dude. I saw this and I was like, there is no way that you would ever let this slide in a normal society. Imagine that. Imagine if your friends thought you could be a PDF file. Imagine that. It really drove me nuts to see that, man. Should be at the bottom of a trench digging for gold nuggets, Mr. Galloway. All right, let's move on here, because we're short on time.
The people are retarded.
I have to show you here, my fellow Gentiles and myself, because we're going nuts, dude. We're going nuts, as we see from Schizo Watch. Firstly, I want to show you this. Apparently, this is real. These are some young men in Chicago who are gang members. And I'm not going to do something here about, like gangs or anything. What I'm talking about here is that apparently the name of this gang is the Conservative Vice Lords Quill faction. The Conservative Vice Lords. And especially for Black History Month, I'm going to make a video about it. I wanted to tell you my thesis here. I've said it before because people were shocked. Let's look at these young men here, the Conservative Vice Lords, how they're behaving in Chicago.
You know that, nigga. Fuck all off, nigga. Dumb ass little boy. You spanking ass, roll in nightmare, man. You know that, nigga. Tell this shit get bad for real. Tell this shit get bad for real, for real. Bow, bow. Shout my goals. Fuck all off, nigga. Fuck BOG.
So you see, this is traditional, gang behavior. It's ostentatious, it's dangerous, fingers on the triggers, bad gun safety. But I saw a lot of people shocked at the name of this gang. And what I wanted to say here, dude, is I really think that Black Americans are the last knights, the last people who have a code of chivalry. And I'm not saying whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Okay? This is just something that I've observed over the years. As the rest of the world has become more suburban, the torch of chivalry has been passed on from the American knights, in the United States at least. From the medieval knights to the American Minuteman Patriot to the cowboy, and now I think to Black Americans. And we see this often talked about in their honor culture, their way of viewing the world. But I would go even deeper. I think Black Americans live in tales that the reason there is so much misunderstanding within the ethnic groups in the United States is people don't understand that this is not abnormal behavior in the sense that every race culture has had this, but everyone else has lost it. For example, the concept of checking in Black American culture, which is unthinkable to most people, given that nowadays we have freedom of movement all over the United States and Europe, is what it was like to be a knight in the 15th century. You would have to check into the other baron's village. You were not allowed to just go there, okay? The Glock is a katana. The Glock with a switch is a katana. It is a medieval knight sword. This is just a continuation of the human condition, which seeks out an honor culture, a culture of knighthood and chivalry, a code. And the only reason people don't have a problem with it is because we've all forgotten who we are. We are all people who think that we have escaped our human desires and abilities and cultures. But at the end of the day, someone has passed on the torch here, and I can't hate on it. It's a dangerous lifestyle. So was being a knight, so was being a Minuteman, so was being a conquistador. But these young men are just following the tradition of the European knight, the Japanese samurai, the Spanish conquistador. This has been chivalry. So I'm not surprised to hear the name of these conservative vice lords, Quill Faction, and I wish them well. All right, let's continue. I need to show you this video here. This is a British man who shot his daughter because they were arguing about Trump last year. And the body cam footage has been released, and I just wanted to watch this here with you guys because this is crazy.
Who is she to y'all?
That's our daughter.
Okay.
It's my daughter.
Okay.
And we were getting ready to go to the airport, and we were talking about guns. And she said, "You got a gun?" I said, "Yes." I got it out, and it just went off as she stood there. As I pulled it out, it went off.
Okay.
It must have been, obviously.
Did you put the gun on the bed?
I put it on the bed straight away, yeah.
Where was it at?
It was in the bedside cabinet.
Okay, you have like a little, you just keep it in there?
In a locked box,
Okay.
And we took it out to look, and just as I picked it up, it went off.
Okay. Ma'am, I'll have you step over here, and we'll all come over here. Okay.
So sorry.
Are they involved?
Can he go or somebody go?
Yeah, we'll get it figured out. I got you. Yep. Here, I just want to, so if they have to come out, because there's like
because
9.
They were about to go back to England, so she's not
She's not going now.
Okay. Are you?
This is her boyfriend.
Boyfriend. Okay.
Baylor Scott White, please here and make me all three.
Yep, we got it. More than likely, honestly, she's probably going to go to Plano. Based on the injury. It'll be THR Plano. Okay. More than likely. I'll tell you here shortly.
Do you know if she's breathing or?
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
So.
All right. So when the story came out recently, I'll read this for you. British woman was killed in Texas after an argument with her father over President Donald Trump's inauguration, UK investigators say. I don't know if that's true. I wasn't able to confirm. The body camera footage is real. Firstly, I have to say this. Maybe I'm too American, but the Second Amendment should not apply to people of British origin in the United States. Maybe I am too American, but the British do not deserve to buy guns in America if they're an American citizen or not. All right. We kicked their ass in 1776 and 1812. Why would we arm the British again? Okay. In addition, the British, I don't think that they know how to handle firearms. I really don't think they know how to handle firearms. I don't know if this was a fight or not, but I have to say this whole situation could have been avoided if we did not sell British people guns. I don't believe them that the gun went off on their own. What did Alec Baldwin start? Like, there's this whole idea that guns just go off. Unless it's a Sig Sauer, that's not going to happen. We have this new Alec Baldwin defense for shootings that I don't know how people say this. Why you would say this? Like, oh, the gun just went off. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't think anyone believes you. That's not true. Funny enough, this started happening after Alec Baldwin. But I will say, look, if the story is real and this young woman died because she was debating Donald Trump's inauguration with her father in Texas, what did I tell you guys? I told you to never debate. I told you debating is wrong. Debating has claimed the lives of Charlie Kirk and this young British woman. All of this could have been avoided if debate were illegal, which is what I would like. Imagine debating your parents on Donald Trump's inauguration. I would never do that. I rather enjoy a delicious treat with them around the Christmas tree. Why would I want to debate with them about the president? What are my parents in charge of the country or something? What are we talking about? This is crazy. They're my parents. So the British have clearly lost their minds, and they should not. They should not own guns. They should not. They were right about that. They should not own them. I don't care if they were in the SAS or the military. This country got its independence from these limeys, okay? We can't be over here having the British arming our enemy, our sworn enemy. What? And clearly they're irresponsible with it. I'm not surprised this happened. You know, the reason that I've been told this is the case, the reason that British football hooligans are so crazy over there and they beat each other up is because they know no one has a gun and they have free healthcare. These are not a people that have been trained with life to show restraint. These are a people who want to go balls to the wall because of free healthcare and crap and, you know, no guns. These people cannot have guns. They're not responsible, and they should not be allowed to debate. If you know what? The Bill of Rights does not apply to British people in America. That's just the new rule. Bill of Rights is gone. Fourth Amendment, you're going to have to quarter soldiers during times of peace. We got our independence from you. It's the least we could do. All right, let's continue. Well, we'll skip that. That was a crazy video. I can't believe I even thought of showing that on YouTube. That's crazy. I think we do get in trouble for that. All right. We'll end with this here. I want to show you this. Again, one of our old punching bags on the show. I mean, therefore I am. The Polish woman from New York City. Yeah, New York. Who loves to make fun of people in the most low tier and low IQ way possible. Let's watch here. I don't know about you. I'm fed up with these people and the rising anti-white settlement. Nobody's stopping them from relocating to Mexico, pushing their politics there, and eating with only the people they deem acceptable. It's that simple. And we're going to watch the video. But first of all, you're Polish. You are Polish. You're Polish. Your bio is the Polish flag, the flag of Poland. Why don't you go back to Poland and live over there? Because clearly you have the flag of Poland. And you know what flag I have in my bio? The American flag, because I'm an American. And now I'm Spanish too. But I'm an American, okay? You are Polish. And secondly, and I don't want to get to, are Polish people even white? Because according to Haiti, they are not. So this LARPiness, and I told you this was going to happen, dude, where now everyone, as time has gone on, has adopted some sort of wingnut adjacent talking point. What does a New York mom that is Polish, what does she know about the rising anti-white sentiment? You didn't even capitalize white in this. You are a Polish boomer woman in New York. What do we care what you... All right, let's watch the video. This lady, I think the whole account is just... It's just rage bait. It's just rage bait. Listen, this video, eating in a Mexican restaurant surrounded by white people, wondering how many of them voted for the felon in the White House and still have the audacity to enjoy our food. Listen, this is some coonery. I do agree with that. This is some shucking and jiving for TikTok, for the white liberal. Oh. Yeah, that's what they're doing, obviously. And I disapprove of this. I think that this is very silly behavior. It's very silly. Okay. But I'm not going to be lectured by some Polak woman about how Mexicans should go back to their country when you have the Polish flag in your bio. What are you talking about? Dude, the Polish have been getting uppity lately, man. Same with the Hungarians. A little uppity. I'm sorry. You were a retarded backwards country up until the Iron Curtain fell, okay? You guys were crushed by the Nazis and then the Soviet Union for a whole century. You just became a country in the grand scheme of things. You are literally just now becoming a country. Just now. And I know they're my Catholic brothers or whatever. This is an arrogant way of thinking. You just became, before you tell people to go back to their country, let's see if you can hang on to Poland for at least a century. Because it seems like you guys are not very good at it. Ridiculous. And I'm not trying to shit on Polish people. I've actually only had negative experiences with Polish people. I've never met a Polish person that I've had a good time with. I don't get along with Polish people, and it's on them, it's not on me. But I'm sure there's good Polish people out there. But yeah, I mean, therefore I am Rene Descartes crap is just, it's really something. It's really something. So I just can't stand it, man. Let's get to our first story, man. Let's get to the story that we've been missing. I see how everything is here. We got to get to Zohran Mamdani.
Are you a communist?
No, I am not. I don't think that we should have billionaires. No, I call myself a democratic socialist. No, I have many critiques of capitalism. There must be a better distribution of wealth for all of God's children in this country. What I'm focused on is making the city affordable for everyone, not to win an ideological argument.
Okay, we have to talk about the budget and all that, but we have to catch up here with Mr. Mamdani, okay? Let's watch what he posted. This was on the 17th, so yesterday. For anyone that's not aware, it's the worst season of the year. I hate this. I hate Lent. I'll do it because, you know, I'm still sucked into the reel on this. I hate it. I hate it. I don't find it to be exhilarating or fun. I gave up DoorDash for Lent. I have not eaten a single piece of meat today, and that includes chicken. I'm tired of Muslims and Catholics pretending that this is enjoyable. This sucks. I've never liked Lent, and I'm sure Ramadan sucks just as much. We don't have to pretend that it's a fun time. We can just do it. It is not a fun time. It is harder to eat fish in the United States than in Latin America. Lent is not fun. I will do it, but I'm not going to smile as I do it. It's not fun, okay? It's Ash Wednesday. I'm not having fun with it. And I'm sure if you talk to a Muslim, they will actually tell you it's not fun. Anyway, we have here, I wanted to start with this. This is Zohran Mamdani posting Ramadan Mubarak, happy Ramadan. With this video, this is yesterday, celebrating Ramadan, who he is, of course, a Muslim.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
It's a very nice, little thing. I'm sure I love it because it's probably pissing off Mark Levin somewhere. Hearing the call to prayer here, okay? All right. And today, so Mark Levin doesn't blow his head off. He tweeted this, no video, but it says, to everyone observing Ash Wednesday, God bless you. Thank you, Mr. Mamdani. In a city of such staggering inequality, let this be a season of reflection, repair, and service. May you have a meaningful Lenten season of prayer, fasting, and spiritual renewal. I appreciate that. Some people were mad. They were saying that he was lecturing the Christians and the Muslims just got a video. Personally, who cares? You need a little video for validation to do Lent. Is that what you need? You need that. I think it's a fine message, you know. May you have a meaningful Lenten season of prayer, fasting, and spiritual renewal. In a city of such staggering inequality, let this be a season of reflection, repair, and service. That's not a lecture. It's like a suggestion box. All right. I don't really think there's bias here. All right. He said Happy Ash Wednesday. All right. This is a nice thing. We're not of the same faith. It's a different book, but we're all people of the book. Very cool. Thank you, Zohran Mamdani. I appreciate it. Maybe it could have had a little video, but the comments here is just people literally hating, man. It's just, you gave me a lecture. You can just switch Christians. You're worshiping. Brother, if you're this triggered by a suggestion list, what's wrong with you? This is my problems with some of the way Catholics comport themselves, especially like Americans. What do you care what the mayor of New York has? Isn't this for something higher and more important? Who cares what the mayor of New York has to say? Who cares if he put a little video or not, you know? Come on, dude. We have martyrs in our religion. We have people who have suffered. We have people who had their heads cut off by ISIS 10 years ago. And you're mad that the mayor didn't put a little video? Oh, come on, man. Time to grow up. Anyway, just had to show you this. Okay. I hope they have a great Ramadan too, the Muslims. But I hope that one day we can admit that this sucks. I'm not going to say it again. I hate it and it sucks. And I don't like the fish thing. And I know that alligator counts as fish. We can't eat that over here. I need to eat meat daily. I'm sorry. That's how I am. So I'm not having a good time right now. And I just want to say that. So, you know, capybara is also not a fish. Neither is muskrat. Good luck getting that in the U.S. I hate it, dude. I hate it. I hate it. I know it's not as strict, but the only thing I've had to eat today are 2 core powers, the lower calorie ones, and some mahi-mahi with french fries, because that's how we fast. It's like 2 little snacks and 1 meal that's not complete. And I hate it. And I'm not having a good time. And I don't like it. And I'm sure the Muslims, whatever, let's move on. All right, we have to get to the budget problem. All right. Well, actually, before we do that, let's watch Rob Smith, who you might remember from a few years ago. This is a gay black patriot who was a friend of Charlie Kirk, who's already, we can see the attitudes of people towards Zohran Mamdani on the conservative side, which is important for what we're going to watch.
So I think what a lot of people need to understand is that New York City is now basically a third world dumping ground. So it is basically a place where every low IQ, semi-literate person from all over the planet is going to get dumped into because they can get, government money, they can get resources, they can get free whatever. And when you look at the election of Zohran Mamdani, if native-born Americans were counted solely in the vote in that election, Cuomo would have won. So Mamdani, 45% of the people that voted for him are literally not from this country. And a large percentage of people that are in New York City at this point are not from this country, and that number is only growing and growing and growing. It's like only going to get worse. So what I think a lot of people really need to start coming to terms with is the fact that that kind of like old school, glamorous, New York City, like you can still find pockets of it, of course. You can still go see Broadway, Fashion Week is still here. All of those things are still here and they're not going away. But for the most part, it has turned into and will continue to turn into basically a dumping ground for everyone from the third world. And I'm sorry to say, guys, it ain't going back.
Okay. Now, I don't agree with this gentleman entirely, but I will say this, man. When I was in New York 2 years ago, I saw the trend in Iran with people. Before that was a story, I was watching the Venezuelan gangster. I was like, holy shit, bro. They're here. They're in Times Square. This is crazy. These Americans don't know what's coming. But I just don't understand why Rob Smith, I see Mr. Lee asking, that Rob Smith is a gay black guy that was friends with Charlie Kirk. He has a famous clip fighting with one of the Nick Fuentes Groypers back in the day. I guess he still has a career. He's just like a standard conservative TPUSA type. We're talking about Native Americans. The important thing here is we see here that Zohran Mamdani seems to be driving even gay black conservatives to start saying that there are Native heritage Americans. Okay, there is a lot of reaction to this guy, and it's important to see the equal and opposite insanity on the other side. All right, everything says, hey, low IQ part 1 might agree on that. All right. Now let's get to the budget. All right. Actually, no, let's get to the budget. Watch that there. All right. The budget. New York City has a $12 billion hole in its budget. It's a big deal, man. It's not good. It's not good for that to happen. Now, in my research, and correct me if I'm wrong, there is a view that's marginal that says that this is Zohran Mamdani's fault. However, he just became the mayor a month ago, so how could it be his fault? His explanation, and the explanation some other people give, is that the Eric Adams administration is largely responsible for this. And they were underreporting how much something would cost in the budget, and this caused this giant hole. Now, there is a middle ground of people saying that Mamdani cannot fix this budget given the social programs he wants to start, because he's a social democrat or a democratic socialist, however you want to say it. However, I have to say, speaking as a neutral third party here, I know I have I am endeared by Mamdani. I really see this as more of an Adams problem. I see this as an Adams problem. I see it as a Cuomo problem. That every municipality is having this issue, man. Miami has this issue. All these politicians are criminals, especially since COVID, and they're all spending more than they actually have. And I'm not going to blame the new guy just yet, okay? So now Mamdani has to patch this $12 billion hole. Whoever caused it is kind of irrelevant. All right, so let's watch here what he said he could do in regards to how he could patch it.
For those who have watched budget after budget, it is tempting to assume that we are engaging in the same dance as our predecessors. Let me assure you, nothing about this is typical. That's why our solutions won't be either. There are two paths to bridge this gap. The first is the most sustainable and the fairest path. This is the path of ending the drain on our city and raising taxes on the richest New Yorkers and the most profitable corporations. The onus for resolving this crisis should not be placed on the backs of working and middle-class New Yorkers. If we do not fix this structural imbalance and do not heed the calls of New Yorkers to raise taxes on the wealthy, this crisis will not disappear. It will simply return, year after year, forcing harder and harsher choices each time. And if we do not go down the first path, the city will be forced down a second, more harmful path. Faced with no other choice, the city would have to exercise the only revenue lever fully within our own control. We would have to raise property taxes.
Now, we're going to watch a bit more of this, okay? I have to start here. This is... I know I'm not affected by it, so maybe. This is like suicide bombing to get what you want, okay? This is very cool. I have to say I like this a lot. I like this because Zohran Mamdani is coming in there with a Mexican standoff wearing a jacket with C4 on it and telling the governor, if you don't let me raise taxes, I'm going to raise property tax and destroy the state. I'm going to destroy the most important city in the state. That's another reason, by the way, that this budget crisis is happening. Apparently, this is from a more pro-Mamdani position. They're saying that New York State takes a lot of money out of New York City and does not distribute it back. This is the same problem Miami has in Florida. This is very funny. I like to see a man use the bully pulpit. I like to see a guy out there saying, listen, I want to do this. If you don't let me do it, I'm going to blow this whole thing up. I'm going to destroy the whole thing. So what are you going to do now? All right. I hate everything. I think it's going to be a good resource here. It says, well, as assemblyman, he supported the policies that led to the deficit. While I would agree with that, I hate everything. The buck stops at the mayor, right? It's Adams who could have prevented this budget, you know? You're right. Obviously, he had a role in it, but the buck stops with someone. I don't think the buck stops with him just yet, you know? He hired a bunch of DeBozo clowns that actually caused a deficit, and he is still supporting the scumbag Bradley. Are you talking about Adams or Mamdani, sir? Because I really don't think that Mamdani, that's just, I'm just saying on timing. How could he have caused the budget deficit in a month? You know what I mean? I get it if we're saying like, oh, you know, as an assemblyman, he supported this or something, but he's the mayor now, you know, and this was Eric Adams' responsibility previously. So I can't put the full blame on him, but please explain. All right, let's continue here. Let's watch again. This is a little bit more of the same clip. It's very good stuff. Okay.
At the heart of this path is a property tax increase. This would effectively be a tax on working and middle-class New Yorkers who have a median income of $122,000. The second path also requires us to raid our reserves. It would mean withdrawing $980 million from our city's rainy day fund in fiscal year 2026 and $229 million from the Retiree Health Benefit Trust in fiscal year 2027. These are steps that have been taken before, but only in moments of extraordinary external crisis. Mayor Bloomberg's response to the 2008 financial collapse, and Mayor de Blasio's response to the enormous revenue shortfall caused by the pandemic. We do not want to have to turn to such drastic measures to balance our budget.
Now, this is very, very crazy, man. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. Zohran is saying it is worse than 2008 and COVID. This is crazy. This is crazy, dude. And he wants to tax the rich out of this. Now, never mind. I won't give the conservative counterposition because we're going to watch it. This, I have to say, I appreciate the bully pulpit. And you have to appreciate it no matter who you are. This attempted sorcery, let's see how it works out for him. Let me raise the taxes on the rich people or I'm going to blow the city up. Blow it up. I'm going to end. This is so fun. And he's not like smirking. This seems somewhat serious. Okay. So I like to see a bully pulpit being used. What can I say? I love it. And at the end of it, he came out here with this pretty interesting thing, man. And by the way, like, we'll get into the conservative thing. When he says they have to raid the emergency fund, I think conservatives, whenever a liberal is elected or a socialist, their IQ drops like 40 points in their criticism. No, I hate everything. That's my guy. Do you not understand what the bully pulpit is? Like, do you not understand what saying, you know, when you say, hey, I'm going to do something crazy, aren't you always going on about art of the deal? Because the caption to this is NYC is circling the drain because he's going to raid the emergency fund. Hey, haven't you ever heard of rhetoric and, you know, like using the bully pulpit? You've been telling me that Donald Trump does this all the time in all of his ridiculous demands of Greenland and Venezuela. So, all right, let's watch this. Let's watch this clip here where he's explaining the budget with this. This is very cool. He's bringing out like this isn't a balance sheet, dude. What is this? This is like a cash flow statement.
What we would rather do is ensure that they remain as they are so that the city can be on firm financial footing. However, in order to get to this point of closing the gap on both this fiscal year and the next fiscal year, we are forced to raid the rainy day fund, the retiree health benefits trust reserve, and to increase property taxes across these other years.
Yeah, dude, this is called rhetoric. Like, this is quite clearly a threat. You threaten people in order to get what you want in politics. That's what you do. He wants to raise taxes on income, not on property. So he's going to threaten to clean out the reserve fund because New York State can't live without New York City. I just don't see how you could caption it with, after 45 days, he'll be forced to, the NYC is circling the drain. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I hate everything says. The only problem with this is that he endorsed the governor. The only opposition, the governor just dropped out. She basically has re-election in the bag. The other problem, he didn't balance the budget. He raised the budget by billions. That's true. That's true. The endorsement, I can't tell if it's like a misstep, but it's starting to seem like one, right? Because if you endorse this, you basically guarantee the governor is going to come in. You really lose a lot of leverage, but here, this is a mutually assured destruction leverage that we can do. Like, because this is what matters, right? The numbers at the end of the day, the money. And if you fuck with the money, you can actually scare the shit out of people and get what you want. Don't know if that's the case. Don't know if that's the case. But at least it's an attempt. All right, so let's go to, I want to show you the conservative reaction here, all right?
Feel free to push back. I'm comfortable with it. And then there's the lions that live in the jungle who have to go get their own meat. I'll give you an idea. And you refuse to hunt. You email me, I won't respond. You DM me, I will not respond. Not on LinkedIn, not on Twitter. Dropping the N-word.
You know who we're gonna watch, man. You know who we're gonna watch. I want to watch you here. Patrick Bet-David, who may I remind you, I don't remember him exactly. The people on his show said that Zohran Mamdani was a jihadist, Hamas-supporting, woman-beating, evil, white people hating, black people hating, Muslim, dirty, gutter, Islamist. All right, let's watch what they have to say about this budget crisis. All right, let's watch what they have to say. Because according to PBD's people, I thought we would have mandatory hijabs. We're going to be talking about budgets. We're talking about hijabs. How long a skirt has to be. All right, let's watch. Let's watch this man over here. This is some great stuff, man.
Can we go to New York? Because Mamdani wants your money, folks. And honestly, he's getting sick and tired of the fact that the governor's not supporting him raising taxes, and it's not cool. It's not cool. And they forced him to do this. You know what he sounds like? He sounds like the spouse that hits the wife and says, you made me do this.
All right. So he's a woman beater, just as Adam Sosnick predicted. He's a woman-beating Muslim. I mean, what could you expect? He's a woman-beating Muslim.
I would have never done this to you. You made me do this. Mamdani sounds like that. Rob, do you have the clip? Is this the one, Rob? The one that... This is the one. Okay. Watch this here, folks. Go ahead.
Would rather do is ensure that they remain as they to is proper.
What is the next one, Rob, that you have? Play.
Who have a mid-hour day for Tyben Taker Bloomberg short.
Totally blackmail.
Threats. That's look.
That's the point. It's blackmail.
Yeah.
This is totally blackmail.
Can continue.
Yeah, we saw it happen in the UK.
Be careful, though. The guy to your right lives there. So you go ahead. Continue.
No,
we
probably
agree.
agree. But no, we saw it in the UK. What happens is leftist governments come in and they say, oh, my God, we just discovered these numbers. And these numbers are horrific. The only way we can get out of this crisis is if we tax the hell out of everybody. And oh, by the way, we're raising expenses. We're going to raise expenses to do all the stuff that we want to do. The UK did that in 2024. The Labour government comes in. They say, oh, my God, we have this massive shortfall. We now have to institute a payroll tax, which eventually created lots of job losses on top of everything else. But typical playbook. That's what happens. And the other side of that is if you don't give us the money, look at the language you use. The only time we've ever done this, 2008. 2020. It will be catastrophic unless you get the state government to fund every last thing that we want the state government to fund.
Yeah, it is a threat. It's blackmail. Quite clearly. Yes, that is true. Yes, it is. I'm sorry. What is going on in this country? Our political experts like Andrew Schultz and PBD are out here confused as to why someone would blackmail someone else in politics? Yeah, it's blackmail. Yeah, that's the point. You're blackmailing the person above you so that you get what you want. That is the nature of politics. It's war by other means. And yes, the left in Europe has done this, of course. But again, man, I'm going to start harping on about this more and more, guys, because it really, it's striking to me the economic illiteracy you will watch on the PBD podcast. There is a shortfall of cash. This is literally true, man. I'm not saying this is a lefty or a righty. There is a shortfall of cash. A lot of promises were made in the last century to people who are retiring now, and we need that money. Otherwise, you would have to cancel pensions. No one is going to do that. There is a shortfall. Now, is there graft and stealing? Of course there is, dude. If this guy were mayor of New York, he'd be stealing too. Everyone would be. Everyone would be. But the lack of cash, this is true. This is something that every government in the world is dealing with right now. Every government. And everything says if the governor really wants to, they can wait it out as long as she can wait it out as long as she can. She can wait it out as long as she can. Because at the end of the day, he's up for re-election before she is this year. I agree. But this is the nature of it, right? Where we're going to have to watch which one, because you're giving a good strategy at everything. Like that, if I were the governor, I would listen to that. But let's see, dude. If imagine telling the governor your most important city is going to be broke. And furthermore, I think that Donald Trump has more love for Zohran than he does for Kathy Hochul. So he does have that in his back pocket as well. Where he can go, dude, it'd be funny you got the Trump tweet. Kathy Hochul has abandoned my little communist Zohran Mamdani. The feds are sending a cash infusion. Why wouldn't he do that? Deliver a huge political victory to Donald Trump. So it's an interesting way of viewing things. Let's continue here. Let's see this.
Pomp.
I got a lot to say about this because we warned everybody this was going to happen. How funny is it that the guy who promised free transportation, free food, and free childcare is now saying we ain't got enough money? Well, the first thing you do is stop giving out free stuff. That's the first thing. The second thing is
he hasn't given out any free stuff. Who watches the PBD podcast, and besides me on this show, because we're trying to understand the world. Who watches this? How can you watch this? No, you didn't warn people that he was going to bankrupt the state. You warned people that he was going to do another 9/11. If you warn someone of that, then anything else can happen.
He said that we have two options. Those two options, oh, you already found it. Yeah, you're already on top of this. All right, so the second thing is that he says we got two options. We can either have the New York State increase our budget, or we could tax the hell out of homeowner or the rich and the profitable businesses. Well, we got a third option. Why don't we just spend less money? You may say, how do we do that? Well, back in this tweet I sent to him, to our amazing mayor, on January 29th, I responded to him and I said, hey, let me give you a couple of examples, because he announced these chief savings officers. And I said, all right, well, if there's these chief saving officers, just search my name in chief savings officer. I said, let's make the big cuts, right? I said, New York City needs a leader with the backbone to make the hard decisions. I believe you're young and enthusiastic enough to pull this off if you wanted to. For example, there's $3 to $4 billion of annual savings that could be captured if you merely stop the aggressive enhancement to city workers' retirement benefits and you cut the ridiculous administrative bloat inside the Department of Education.
This is already dead on arrival, man. People are underestimating how bad this problem is. You cannot cut pensions. You cannot fuck with retirement at all. You can only take it away from people into the future. You can privatize government deferred benefits. That's all you can do. And make them deferred contributions. That's a fancy way of saying you can cancel pensions and make them 401ks instead. That is all you can do with retirement. You cannot do anything else. This is a non-starter. This is insane. This is, dude, no one has the balls or ability to do this. This would literally be legally breaking everything. It's not possible. Now, spending less, I guess you could do that. I guess you could. Why would any government ever do that? Why would any government ever do that? Now, I will agree. I see you guys were debating the property tax thing. That's probably not an optimal solution. If he were actually going to do it, and I really doubt he is, I think this is just rhetoric. Raising property tax, removing the middle class out of New York City, and raiding the emergency fund is clearly suicide. You know, like, you have to make them believe you would do that, but raising property tax is going to destroy the middle class, and everything's going to be swallowed up by a global corpse. And maybe that's a secret agenda of Zohran Mamdani. I don't think so. But, yeah, no. I don't think so. I everything says there is a lot of slop that they can cut from that budget. I do believe you, but starting here with pensions, that is where you lose me. Not you, but this PBD crap, where no one is going to do that. It's impossible. But I agree with you. There's plenty of stuff to cut. Boy, slop.
And you could accomplish this without losing any teachers, firemen, police officers, or city workers. You wouldn't have to raise taxes on anyone. Every hospital and school would stay open. And you don't need the chief savings officers. So there is the closing of this gap by him simply just saying, we are not moving forward, going to keep increasing aggressively the benefits to all of the retirees. So people who aren't retired yet, we're just going to stop making bigger and bigger promises to them. Just keep it where it is.
That's probably a good idea. But how are you going to... I really wonder about this, man. Are people going to suck it up and go, oh yeah, I'm just not going to get a pension? The guy who's working with me on the job is getting one, but I'm not going to get one. Is that what... You can't do that. They have done it, but you are going to have a lot of fight from people that would work there for the wage, for the benefits, long-term thinkers that want to be there 30 years because you're cutting the benefits. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't cut them or you should. It's a crisis. There's nothing you can do. But this sort of like simplistic conservative solution, you should move to Argentina, man. You should move. That's the only country that can do this because they have a literal autist as president.
And then 40% of the New York City budget goes to the Department of Education, and the number of administrators there has absolutely exploded. And so when you look at this, you start to say to yourself, this is not a revenue problem. This is a spending problem. And if they have a $122 billion budget, the state of Florida is $117 billion. There's 15 more million people that live in the state of Florida than in New York City. How the hell is New York City spending more money than the entire state of Florida on a budget?
I don't know, because New York City is the most important city in the world, and Florida is like 80% swamp. I don't know. Maybe that's the reason. I'm not even defending, but that is quite clearly retarded. Like, do you not understand why New York would need a bigger budget than Florida? The city with the United Nations, the city with every international organization going in there, the city with 3 airports. It probably needs another one because they all suck. The city that is the culture and financial capital of the whole world. Do you not understand why they might have to spend more money than an entire state whose industry is cattle and oranges? I think it's pretty obvious why. I think it's pretty obvious. Ivan says, I want him to raise property taxes and do the rent free so it can show the DSA is full of entitled retards. Brother, you live there. Why would you want that? You live there. You sound like PBD. We have to get to PBD. You sound like him. Why would you want that? I hope that doesn't happen for your sake, man.
It's not a spending problem. It's a philosophy problem. That's
it's crazy.
Mamdani he's exactly who we thought he was. And he advertises the entire way.
I actually
So
love
people-
that he's coming through.
Yeah,
I love that he's doing exactly what we thought he's going to do.
People voted for this.
Yep.
They voted for the fantasy and the fairy tale, and once you vote for it, you're kind of stuck with it. And that's the political process that goes on here. Is that you vote for all the stuff, and then the blackmail happens to make sure that it happens.
Well, you want to know what I think is going to end up happening?
Go for it.
He ain't going to get any of this done. No way. You know why? He's saying he's going to raise property taxes 10%. It's not like a 1% increase, 2% increase. Look at the people.
He said he's going to raise property tax 10%.
I think that's what he said, right? He said 10% increase in property taxes,
like
9.7% or something.
Yeah.
To who, though? To who?
Everybody.
People above 122.
In the clip you played, he said, look, this is going to hit middle-class earners, which are the people he's supposed to be protecting.
Yeah. But the biggest barrier to
So you're saying he's not going to be able to do it? Do you think he'll be able to do it?
32%.
They will revolt.
32% of New Yorkers own homes compared
it's the
to
lowest in other states.
The national average
out
is
of all the
65,
states.
right? So we're at 32%.
Right.
Of the people who own the homes, everyone thinks that it's just rich people. But actually, if you look in Queens, the Bronx, etc., the homeowners there, they're not quote unquote rich. These are.
If they're not gonna do it, then why are you concerned? Then why are you concerned? That's what I don't get. You can't go from telling me the guy's gonna do 9/11 to this. Like, this is so pathetic. All right. I just want to show you PBD and then we'll move on.
This comes in. By the way, during COVID, what are the two states that lost $1 trillion of wealth that left? New York and California. Do you know right now the only state that has lost $1 trillion of wealth on two different occasions is California? Hasn't happened in New York yet. That article hasn't hit yet, but it's coming soon if he continues the way he's doing. And I'm encouraging him. Please continue with all this stuff. Keep doing it. For some of you guys that are in New York that are like, but he's not a bad guy. It's okay. You know, we hate, you know, who were the other guys? Sliwa, or who is Sliwa, or who is Cuomo?
Did you see, you saw,
what again? And he reiterates this point multiple times. Conservatives are literally insane people, man. And I make fun of liberals a lot. Why would you wish for the richest, most important city in America to have a bad time? He says repeatedly that it's good because the world can know that socialism doesn't work. I don't wish anything bad to happen to the people of New York. Why would I want that to happen? But the conservative response, as usual, is fantasy land. It is that Zohran Mamdani should cut retirement benefits, and he should do it anyway and fuck up the whole city because socialism doesn't work. I'm impressed. I think that, dude, this is going to be an interesting time to watch what happens in New York. I know it's a boring issue. I know it's not exactly fun, but I think it's important. I do think it is important. We're going to have a lot of interesting content out of New York, man, as they solve this. Because the reason New York matters in this context is because this is the problem that every country in the world is going to have. Every country in the world, every city is in the same dilemma after COVID. No one can keep up with the interest on the debt. And this is the first instance of this. And we'll see if we can come out the other side better than we went in, which I think is possible. I'm not sure it is. I see Mike John is here. How are you doing, Mike John? Are you having fun being mad at everyone? All right, let's get to Jaime Wetback, my favorite, James Fishback, the man running for governor. First, I have this announcement here. I can't confirm that this is true or not. This is Joan, who seems to have become a surrogate for him. Nick Fuentes has endorsed James Fishback for governor. I don't know if this is true. Okay, but this seems to be someone who's connected to James Fishback. He is followed by him, as you can see here. All his tweets are about Mr. Fishback. He's followed by his campaign manager. James, oh, dude, hang on. We got a new announcement. James Fishback, oh, no, I saw this. He's on Fresh and Fit tonight. Okay, he's on Fresh and Fit. So that's why we're talking about it. James Fishback has had an interesting bit here where, as you can see, he's been endorsed by Nick Fuentes. So now it's official. Now we have the DSA left in New York and the Groyper right in Florida battling it out. Okay? Battling it out. All right, let's continue. So firstly, I need to show you this. James Fishback, dude, I can't tell if it's a scam or not. Because with Zohran, you could tell there was an earnest desire to win. But with Fishback's case, I can't tell if it's a scam and he may end up winning regardless. he's back here in Miami collaborating with Sneeko. And I have to show you, I can't wait to leave to Orlando. This city has become a mess. Let me show you what it's like in Brickell these days, okay? We have all the streamers. Sneeko is fighting here with Fresh from the Fresh and Fit podcast. And the future governor of Florida is with him, and so is Gary the Numbers guy, who I'm sure we're all familiar with, this numerology guy. This is the hell.
We live in hell. We live in the gutter.
That I have to endure in Brickell, in Miami. This city has become a joke parody of itself.
They put a threat out on my life. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. You guys wanted to kill me, right? You wanted to kill me. You guys said you were.
None of these people are from here. They're all from other cities.
We're gonna hurt on that podcast. Your co-host, right? Okay.
Him or me?
Your co-host.
Okay, I didn't
it's
say
your
that.
podcast.
Stop fucking saying I did.
You can tell that none of them are from here because they are trying to fight. Because people from here do not fight because everyone has a firearm.
You're on your podcast. Okay, well I'm here and your podcast.
By the way, why don't you New York
Why are you
with
spiking?
McDonnie?
Why are you spiking?
And I'm not fucking with you. James Fishback is standing in the corner here. You just can't see him right now.
What is all at the
Why don't you
restaurant?
New York with McDonnie?
Because I live in Miami.
Yeah, no, you don't. Go back to New York.
Why are you spiking your cortisol here?
You're a liberal now.
Why are you spiking your cortisol?
You're a liberal now.
Calm down. Why are you yelling at this restaurant for?
Liberals ain't wanted here.
Film me, but you're not going to do anything. Now, face to face, you're not going to do anything, right? Hey, just film with your stupid phone. Bacon? Okay. Go eat. Go pay for pussy that you eat.
Hold on. Nico, I don't drink. Who's a better Muslim? I don't drink.
Can you imagine? This is why this city, they call it the Magic City. No, this city has become hell. Imagine if you're trying to enjoy a nice meal out in Brickell. I don't know what restaurant would be nice, but whatever. Let's assume there is. And the fat astrologist starts chasing the shaved head Muslim streamer who's walking with the gubernatorial candidate, yelling at him about how he is a better Muslim because he doesn't drink. And you're sitting there with your wife, your girlfriend, your friends, and you have to watch this. You know, this is hell. I hate what this city has become. They have ruined this city, man. I don't want to watch a fat astrologist yell at a Muslim LARPer streamer with my future governor. I want to enjoy my dinner. Let's continue. So let's see here. Now we have, well, we're getting more into it. All right, we're getting more into it. What's interesting is that despite that fight, Mr. Fishback, and this is why I can't tell if he's actually running or not, dude, or if he's running for mayor of Rumble or mayor of Twitter or something. He has gone on, not directly, vicariously on the Nick Fuentes show. He has gone on the Tucker Carlson show. He has gone on the Sneeko and Clavicular show. And now he's going on Fresh and Fit tonight. All of these people hate each other. So I can't tell if this is trying to mooch off their audiences or electoral politics anymore. Because this is just too funny to watch. Like, he's just doing a stream world tour. That's what he's doing now.
It's gonna be fun. You know why? Because we got the girls for free. I know. Just for you, brother.
Just it's policy time, baby.
Yeah, it's gonna be. You know Gary, right?
What
chance
do you actually have of winning, bro? Calling market says 22%.
No, up from 14, man.
It's not bad.
I mean, listen, you're doing very well, but you got a big machine behind you.
I know. Well, I'll tell you, we got a great team. And the New York Times said yesterday, say what you want about him. He's ahead of where Zohran was this time last year, and he's got more time to make it up.
It's going to be hard to beat Bryce if you actually get into a debate. I've been at the rallies, bro. You got a good mouthpiece. Listen, you got a good mouthpiece, bro. But you know, I was a trained politician over there.
I know, but I was a high school national champion in debate.
Makes sense why you made it, man.
We have, and this is becoming a problem, man. I don't want. You know what? Let's use our clip. Let's use our clip here. Where's our clip?
Disgusting and gross. I mean, he should just be. I don't like ugly, stupid freaks.
We can't have our elections from now on becoming this 1890s Gilded Age thing where some cohort of ugly, stupid freaks. In the last Trump election, it was these podcasters like Joe Rogan, Andrew Schultz, Call Her Daddy. And now in my election here, these ugly, stupid freaks are Gary the Numbers Guy, Sneeko, Fresh and Myron from the Fresh and Fit podcast deciding elections. We have lost the plot. I don't think that the founding fathers thought that this was the way of doing things. This is really something, man, where this cohort, this island of misfit toys is going to decide elections every cycle now. And then they're going to cry about it incessantly for years. Mike John, we're not talking about Zohran Mamdani right now. What are you still doing talking about it? Literally, what are you doing? The chat is nice, so they will actually humor you. What are you doing here, though? You're literally only here when I mentioned Zohran Mamdani in the title. And you're fighting about it, even though that was like a 30-minute or like 20-minute segment of our show. What are you actually doing here, man? Are you trying to spike your own cortisol? I don't even understand what the point is of it. I mean, have at it, man, but we moved on. We're talking about Florida. All right, let's continue. I wanted to show you here. This is not the endorsement because I have not seen it of Nick Fuentes endorsing Fishback. Well, we can see that the edits are incorporating the Fuentes mentions of Fishback in the past.
You know, I really like what I've seen from Fishback. You know what? He seems really smart. I was really impressed with him on Tucker. Very impressed. Very well spoken, very sharp. Funny too. He said Byron Donalds wants to turn Florida into a Section 8 ghetto.
You in that LA, you in that we don't be giving a fuck, we be out of line. Yeah, when they put my money up and then I put it down.
Section 8 ghetto. Dude, that shit is so funny, man. Like, it's so funny. It's so funny. But here we have this. His chances on Polymarket, by the way, are above 20, which doesn't sound like a lot if you don't have a finance or like numbers background. That's 1 in 5. He wins 1 in 5 times. That's a lot. This Groyper strategy is something, man. The amount of young people I have met recently, online and in person, that are like, dude, I got my parents, so they're gonna support Mamdani. Sorry, Fishback. They're like total cucks, but they're gonna support him this time because of me. What? People are convincing boomers of stuff? That's crazy. All right, let's continue. Mike John, I don't love Mamdani. This is an analysis channel. This is an analysis channel. We don't love or hate anyone here. Analysis, except for this guy here. I hate Ron DeSantis, but that's beside the point. We have to show you here because our governor has really had enough of being asked about the election. I want to show you his response here, which is in the usual Ron uncharismatic way, what he had to say about Paul Renner, who is the speaker of our Congress here, who's decided to run as well.
Today, Paul Renner has entered the race. Your reaction to that, and will you make an endorsement at all in the governor's race?
The race for what?
Governor.
Governor of what?
Florida.
Oh, look, yeah, I'm not supporting Paul Renner. You know, I think it was an ill-advised decision to enter the race.
Today, Paul Renner.
So we see our governor continues to cuck. He has not endorsed anyone. He's not endorsed Jake Collins. He's not endorsed Byron Donald. And this matters because he's a popular governor. Unfortunately, he's a popular governor. So this matters. This actually does matter. Okay? This actually does matter. All right. Dude, Mike John is like, how can you hate Ron DeSantis? He's awesome. He's trying to remove property taxes. That's what you're putting your hat on, that he's removing property taxes, that he's doing another giveaway to acid owners. You think that that's good? Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Are you crazy? Are you literally that's what you thought of? I could think of many more reasons to like Ron DeSantis, even though I hate him, than he's going to remove poverty. How old are you? How many houses do you own? How many houses did you own and what did you buy them at? That's crazy. That's literally the craziest reason to glaze Ron DeSantis. But all right, he's not getting involved in the race. All right, interesting stuff. We're not even going to look at this. I can't stand it, man. I wanted to show you here Mr. Fishback for our Fishback update. He went on here on the Joel Webbin podcast. Joel Webbin is a Protestant preacher who recently released like a multi-segment interview with Ron DeSantis, with Nick Fuentes. And so, again, the reason I bring this up is we have an interesting thing here where James Fishback is doing the online, like total online domination. He's interviewing with a Protestant guy about this. Like, this is ridiculous. And it's a good strategy. It's good. Like, this is the new Joel Osteen, is what I'm realizing. This Joel Webbin, he's not going to Joel Osteen. He's not going to Guillermo Maldonado down here in Homestead. He's going online. This is where the Christian energy is. All right. Mike John says, Ron DeSantis should be on the Mount Rushmore of governors, and I own 2 homes. Bro, you can't make this up. You literally can't make this up. Mike John, say the N-word.
Say the N-word. Go on.
Wow. I really know why you like Ron DeSantis now, Mike John. Dude, you are literally, dude, you're ridiculous, man. You are, like, I'm not even mad at you because I don't get mad, but this is ridiculous. Like, this is literally ridiculous. There's a million reasons to love Ron DeSantis. He's the best governor Florida ever had. Really? Really? He's better than the governor who brought us Disney or the governor that brought us the space program or Andrew Jackson? He's better than those people? Really? Oh, wow. You must have great standards. He's really a great governor. He removed illegals. He's awesome. Bro, dude, this is crazy. Mike John, this is crazy. Dude, Mike John, this is crazy. This is crazy, man. Like, this is why my state is hell, man. This is why.
We live in hell. We live in the gutter.
This is crazy, man. This is fucking crazy. When you get a $40K in property taxes removed, what's better than that? Brother, man. Dude, we found the Ron DeSantis fan. I'm so glad we found him. Disney LMAO. Do you realize how many people Disney employed? Disney put our state on the map. What are you, a kiss? You love Disney. Disney is woke. Nobody. Luke's Disby. Mike John. Dude, no way. This is crazy. This is crazy. Mike John. How much money do you think Disney brings into the state of Florida every year? Mike John. I don't like the Disney movies. Like, Disney's an important part of our state's economy. Do you not Bro, dude, I'm going... This is, dude, Mike John, you gotta like start a YouTube channel, dude. I need to see this. We need to preserve this for posterity. This way of thinking is really something. All right, let's move on. This is crazy. Crazy. All right. So let's watch the new Protestant fire and brimstone thing here.
Started like 2%. Started at 2%, and we're now at 23%. And now the media has the unmitigated gall and the unfettered audacity to say that we have only raised $950. Joel, let me tell you first and foremost, that is cap. We did not raise $950. We have now raised $942. I went to In-N-Out Burger on the way here. And so, gosh, guys, if I actually went from 2 to 23% in 11 weeks with $950, people of Florida really should hire me to be their governor, because we're going to really stretch the value of our dollar in Florida and be very frugal.
All right, so it's not really significant what he's saying, but I just wanted to show you what he was on. But hang on. Dude, this is crazy. Disney is woke. Now nobody likes it unless you're 5 years old. Bro, Mike John wants Disney to leave Florida and for Florida to remove property taxes. This is the ideology of the DeSantis voter. The DeSantis voter wants Florida to strap on a suicide vest and blow itself up. This is literally the ideology of death. We want to kill our greatest earner and then remove taxes. This is literally the ideology of someone who's trying to drive a plane into a building. This is crazy. I care about saving money, cheaper gas, cheaper food. Interesting, you care. So you want cheaper gas, cheaper. What the fuck does that have to do with Ron DeSantis? What are you talking about, man? Nobody over 19 cares about Disney. Mike John, dude, I'm not even trying to be a Redditor here. Hang on. How much money does Disney make for Florida each year? $40 billion in 2002. 1 in 8 jobs in Central Florida. $3.1 billion in state and local. Dude, you are like, this is, I'm glad we see this, man, because we often see economic illiteracy from the left. This is the conservative economic illiteracy. I hate Disney. Disney is gay. Get them out of the country. And I want property taxes removed. We should dude, please start a YouTube channel, Mike John. Please. And everybody says remove Disney and bring in Guy Fieri. Dude, I wouldn't be surprised if Mike John would support that, man. This is the ideology of death, man. Of just like the end of your state. Let's watch here one of the newer Fishback edits about white guilt.
But let me be very clear. If you are one of the few public school teachers that is going to push white guilt on our students, you will not be a public school teacher if I am governor. End of story. I'm not negotiating.
Now, the reason I'm showing this one, it's not frivolous, okay? It's not frivolous. We see the incorporation of a music that is much more light. It is much more female friendly. I know it's anime, but we are seeing, just as we saw light MAGA and dark MAGA, and this would be smart, a light Fishback campaign. Mike John says, you said remove Disney. I never did. I just don't care about Disney. Well, you see, the fact you don't care about it is the insane part, because they bring in so much money to our state. So you should care about Disney because they make us money. Like, this is not difficult to understand. I don't wake up thinking about Mickey Mouse. Maybe you do. No, I think about Disney's 10K and 10Q and their financial reports because they matter to our state. 1 in 8 people in Central Florida is employed by Disney. So why would I want Disney to do badly if they matter? In fact, I would want them to do better. This is literally crazy. Idun says, imagine replacing Disney and replacing Ron with Guy Fieri. That will bring in a lot of revenue. Ron DeSantis would probably bring in more revenue as governor if he had opened like Ron DeSantis' sloppy slop, sloppy goy slop slop. The Ron and Guy Fieri show. That is so ridiculous. He should be an actor, you know. All right. Dude, this is cracking me up, man. Like, this is crazy shit, man. This is crazy. I've never seen this in the wild. All right, I want to show you something here. Since we're short on time, I'll just show it here. Palantir, which is a Colorado-based company, is moving to Miami.
Everything that is ugly, cruel, stupid, but most importantly, ugly, everything is your fault.
These liberals, man. These liberals, man. these liberals. Why did you do this to me, Colorado? Why are you moving the Eye of Sauron to me, to my city? Why would you bring them here? I'm happy because I'm like a Bajalardian, dude. I'll give them my data for free. I don't mind it. But yeah. And I wanted to show you that because here is James Fishback saying, as governor, I would ban Palantir from doing business with state and local government, my full statement. And he released a statement on this. And I gotta say, interesting move. Because this is, again, we make the Zohran comparison. This is AOC level. AOC is the one who rejected Amazon HQ in New York. And I remember they were crying. They were going like, they're not. She was right. I think she was proven correct. And here we see a convergence, a horseshoe theory, pardon the expression, where the right and the left are willing to stand on something greater. Now, I don't know if he can win and do this, but this is pretty insane, man. Like, we're seeing the younger people in politics are willing to not actually take on some money in order to stand up for something. And they'll get criticized, but it's something. Mike John says, who was a better governor than Ron DeSantis in your opinion? Because everyone I talk to in Florida loves Ron. You're not even in Florida. Why do you care? This is why this country is mentally ill. Why do you care what happens in Florida? Why would you care? You're not from here. You don't have to live with this. I'm not even arguing with a transplant. I'm arguing with someone that's not even here. Why do you care? Why do you care who I think would be a better that doesn't even make sense. Why would you care, Mike John? Why would it doesn't matter what Mike John, you're not even here. Why do you care? This country is going insane, bro. This country is going insane. Why do you care if you don't live here? Why are you shilling for a man who has never thought about you? I met Casey DeSantis. You know, I can say that she's seen me before. I can say that I have a 2 degrees separation from Ron DeSantis. I met her in a work setting. Leo, I have a home in Fort Lauderdale and 25 family members. What are you talking about? You don't live here, though. You don't live here. You just said you don't live here. You can have a home here. You don't live here. I have 600 FRDs in Florida. FRDs. Was that a typo? What is an FRD? FRDS. Fast recovery diodes. I don't know what you're talking about, dude. My FRDs own Casa Calabria, Matarono's 2 best restaurants. That doesn't mean you live here. You don't live here. If you don't live here, then it doesn't. I do business here. Dude, you sound like a Hispanic that was born in the U.S. and I'm Mexican. You don't live here. You don't live here. You just said it. You said it. I never said I don't live here. FRDS is friends. Friends. Okay, so you have friends in Florida. I have friends in California. I'm not obsessed with San Francisco and Chesa Boudin. I like to analyze it. What are you talking about? Why are you playing coy now, dude? Why are you playing coy? You said you don't live. All right, let's continue. This is James Fishback again doing his stream with Sneeko. This is ridiculous. I live in Florida for 20 years. Okay, you're not from here, though, so all right. Even further, I'm going to move the goalposts even further. You're not a real Floridian. Get out.
Hey, Nick, are you endorsing James Fishback for governor of Florida? El Rudco, it's a joke. Oh my God, you guys are saying that call me an illegal immigrant and bro code the whole stream. I say one thing back and now I'm an asshole.
You've heard the Chalamet rap song, right?
He said,
Timothy Chalamet.
It's money supreme. It's money supreme.
It's a good
Wait,
song.
what did he say? Oh, he said yes. Nick Fuentes has endorsed James Fishback for governor of Florida.
Oh, gee, that'll really help.
Let's go.
So we saw the endorsement live. Okay, I still can't confirm. I don't know where that came from. I don't know who did that. You know? Well, oh, I guess it was literally a message in Sneeko's chat. So again, I'm showing you the thing where streams are becoming the new electoral vehicle, and this is really something to watch. Mike John says, I owned a home in Hollywood, Florida, then moved. I was in Florida probably before you were born. No, you weren't. I'm older than 20. I was born here. This state is my home. I've never known any other state. Like you're not gonna, brother. Where are you from, Mike John? Where are you from? Vermont, California. Where are you from? Where are you from? Please tell me. I've been here my whole life. Can you say the same? Where are you from? Where are you from? All right, so we see that. And I think that Fishback may be unexcited about it. We see, I saw Eves pointed out that it's an odd reaction. It is an odd reaction indeed. But I'm not, the thing is, it's very difficult to say. I don't even know why Fuentes did this, because this seems to be a problem where now he's going to have a lot more baggage. Although he's not endorsing Fuentes back, but it's still like it puts him in a difficult position where before he could leverage Fuentes' followers, but now he is now having he has consummated the political relationship with Fuentes, at least from one side. Okay. And so I think we can skip this, dude, because we're here. We can skip that for now. Perfect. Yeah, let's watch this. I wanted to show you this here because this is one of the cooler things that he's done. This is on the same stream where he's talking to a young black conservative, and he speaks of Florida as a black Mike John, you're not saying you were born in Florida. You're not saying you live in Florida. You're being very odd. You're saying I owned a house there. I have friends. I have this. You're not a real Floridian, dude. You're not a real Floridian. If you're from Hollywood, this is the test. What follows dolphin, carpet, and tile? Type it right now without Googling, and I will tell you if you're a Floridian and you're a South Floridian. Please tell me. Because everyone in South Florida can answer that. Can you do it, Mike John? People that are 50, 60, 40, Spanish speaking, English speaking, dolphin, carpet, and tile. What follows that? That's the test, okay? That's the test. Another test. What famous restaurant burned down in South Florida that is most notable for its ribs? What is it? I have Florida aunts, uncles, and I knew you couldn't answer it. I know you can't answer it. I know you. Bro, I sniffed these fake Floridians out. Dolphin, carpet, and tile. What follows? What follows? Dolphin, carpet, and tile. This is, bro, I can clock the fake Floridian like this. Like this. Frantically searching for the answer online. What's the answer, Mike John? Dolphin, carpet, and tile. What is the call and response, Mike John? Mike John, what is it? Mike John, what famous restaurant in South Florida opened in 1959? No, it's not Tony. Bro, fake Floridians, dude, they all around me. No, it's not Tony Roma's. It's Shorty's. All right. What restaurant was founded in 1959 with locations all around South Florida that famously serves ribs inside of an egg roll? I'll give you another hint. It's Irish. Which one is it? Mike John? Bro, I can spot the fake Floridian like this, man. Tony Roma's ribs best. Yeah. Dolphin on carpet and tile. It's get it right. Okay. And it's Flanagan's. You're not from Florida, dude. You're not a real Floridian. You don't have the guts to be a Floridian. Fake Floridian opinion discarded. Empress says, so you say it's a bigger achievement to bring Disneyland than Palantir? What does that say about DeSantis if they move? That's true. I didn't even think of it that way, Efra. You're right. Like, DeSantis has been hostile to Disney and he's bringing in Palantir. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, Flanagan serves the rockin' rib rolls, Mike John, which are ribs inside of an egg roll. And you would know that if you were from Florida, but you're not a real Floridian. You're not. You're not. You're not a real Floridian. You're not. All right, let's move on here. We got to get over here. Man, We got this. What's the oldest restaurant in Florida, Mike John? Why don't you tell me without Googling it? This is Fishback interacting with a young black youth.
They say black people are 13% of the population, commit 50% of the crime. In my opinion, I think there is a crime issue in the black community. What will you do to positively impact that, to like lower the crime rates, make black people do better in America?
It's a great question. So I'm glad we acknowledge that's a real statistic.
Yeah,
it's not
real
racist
too.
to say. It's not racist to say 1350. Three things. Gotta have strong families. 70% of black kids are gonna grow up in America today with only one parent in a household. No discipline, no support system, no resources. You gotta bring two parents back to the household. You gotta do that by fixing the welfare system that
So since we're short on time, we'll move on. This is pretty Larry Elder. Pretty Larry Elder. It's pretty wild. It's pretty Larry Elder. Nice inroads with the black community. Very good. Dude, this is crazy. I don't eat that garbage. The oldest restaurant in Florida is called the Columbia. It's about 100 years old, and it's in Ybor City. And you would know that if you were a real Floridian. What's the best restaurant in Fort Lauderdale, Leo? I wouldn't be caught dead in Fort Lauderdale, Mike John. What, you going to Wilton Manors out there with all your buddies? Giving each other a circle jerk? All right. Dude, I think we have to end it just because, yeah, there's not really, we could do more, but it's too much. This was so beautiful to watch here. Yeah, the Columbia. Yeah, after I said it, you typed it in the chat. After I said it, you typed it in the chat. Yeah, I'm going to believe you. You had a delay after I said it. And you spelled the name wrong, by the way. You spelled the name wrong. You're not a real Floridian, dude. You're not a real Floridian. What is the name of the Catholic planned town found in South Florida that was founded by a famous CEO? And what company did the CEO found? I'll wait. Dude, you don't have the answers. Like, you don't have them. What makes the Everglades unique? What makes it unique? What famous black pianist was born in Florida? Sorry, not born. Educated in Florida. And where was he educated in Florida? Why does Tampa have salami on their Cuban sandwich? Why is Lake Okeechobee full of algal bloom? You're not a real Floridian, man. Any real Floridian does not like Ron DeSantis, okay? Anyone that's not a transplant that's from here does not like him. And you could be a Republican, it doesn't matter. They don't like him. It's just true. I can smell these. Smells like transplant over here. It smells like transplant. Yes, Bray Charles, absolutely. Never been to Tampa. Dude, you're a fake Floridian then. How have you never been to Tampa? Dude, it's just impossible when an outsider comes to your state and they come in all arrogant and they tell you what your opinion should be. That is the most disrespectful thing. And a lot of Floridians feel this way, man. Everyone likes Ron DeSantis. That's why he was on. No. Ron DeSantis won because the candidate who ran against him the first time was a retard, and his name was Andrew Gillum, that wanted to introduce an income tax. Andrew Gillum was also a drug-addicted gay guy, and that's why he couldn't win. And the second time, it's because Charlie Crist was a retarded and terrible candidate. Because not everything is a binary, my friend. Effort says, why does Palantir feel comfortable with moving to Florida? Let's do some chats. Sometimes it does not add up if you hate Palantir. The reason that not only Palantir is moving to Florida, but FIFA, international organizations, and a lot of companies, we're starting our own like stock exchange or whatever, is because Florida, much like Texas, but to a lesser degree, is one of these few states where you can not be harassed by the government as a corporation. And what I mean by that, I don't mean that that's a positive or a negative. But what I do mean is that for example, there's a company, you know, this company, Tesla, that left California. The people in California that lived next to the Tesla plant are incredibly happy because Tesla processes lithium, and there's a bunch of runoff and byproduct of the process of refining it. And now in Texas, the Texans are starting to get pissed off because they're starting to see these puddles of blue and green goo outside of the Tesla factory that's obviously seeping into their water table, and they're mad about it. But when you have a conservative governor who can't stand up literally for anything, like the governor of Texas, you are literally going to be poisoned to die. And that's what Florida and Texas offer corporations these days. They offer them the opportunity to not be judged, to not have any issues in terms of the legal stuff. That's why that's happening, because other states are still trying to enforce laws, keep things making sense. But that's the reason why, Ephra. It's unfortunate, but it's true. I bet Ron DeSantis would bring Tesla here. He really would, and he would poison the aquifer, and he wouldn't give a shit. He would poison all of our water. He'd say, oh, yeah, just buy imported water. It's too bad. Because when these Republican governors, dude, like that's the problem with, I usually am a fan of Republican governors, but in this case, these people are like the worst. They are retarded. They are idiots. They will allow your state to be raped by foreign companies and domestic companies, by corporations. They're literally idiots. Mike Johnson says, so why was his approval 87% 2 months ago on PBD podcast? We're citing the PBD podcast. PBD is a transplant. PBD is who I am not enjoying in Florida. PBD loves Ron DeSantis. You're citing PBD? Bro, dude, we got to get out of here, man. This is too crazy. And CNN likes Biden. Do you think... I really struggle here, man, because, by the way, right now, we're not at 2,500 subs, so we're in a rut. The 1488 through... I know that's a bad number, man. I know what the connotation is, but that's literally the subscriber count right now. To 2,500 is going to be a rough period of growth. And I really wonder, man, like, do people watch this show and they go, wow, King Leo is a Democrat, he's a Republican? I don't think I give that image at all. Like, why are you laughing at me? Because do you think that I like CNN or something? Do you think that like affects me? That CNN, I like watching Rachel Maddow or like Caitlin Collins or something? I'm constantly attacking CNN on this show. Like, I'm constantly deconstructing it. I just don't understand. You don't like the PVD podcast. Why? It's good. PVD podcast is one of the best podcasts out there. Dude,
This is exactly what I'm talking about, the slave mentality, the slave mind.
Oh, man, no. Oh, it's bleak out here, man. It's bleak. I'm glad we got to see this, Mike John. I really... Oh, my God, dude. Oh, my God. Mike John, I appreciate you showing up, dude. Like, comment, and subscribe. Everyone here, like, comment, and subscribe. This was some real entertainment, man. This is crazy. I appreciate you, Mike John. You're a fake Floridian. Dolphin, carpet, and tile. Get it right. That's the answer. PBD gets most views. Okay. All right. What does that have to do with it? Wasn't... Bro, I'm glad we thugged it out till the end here because this was crazy. Link in the description to the free Discord, the paid Patreon that gets you the paid Patreon, the paid Discord tier. I will be in here with Eves and I hate everything and audio vibes pretty soon. I'm sorry, guys. This has been busy. Been a little tired, especially today with the fasting. And we have the What Would a Postmodernist Do or What Would a Piers Morgan Do bracelet available. We're going to do Piers Watch tomorrow, dude, because I think Piers tomorrow releases his Clavicular segment. I wanted to preview it here tonight, but it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. It's very funny. If you've seen the clips already of it, it's very funny. So he's doing something right. Best guess also. PBD is good man. A good man. PBD is a multi-level marketing scammer, my friend. All right. Everyone have a great night, man. I appreciate everyone tuning in tonight and everything. Mike, John, Mystery Lou, Audio Vibes, Iron Hammer 4. Vinny is good on PBD. Dude, no. Mike, John, please start a YouTube channel. Please. I'm sorry, guys. I got to go. This is too crazy.
Change the world. My final message. Goodbye.